Hello and welcome to Narayana IAS live session. Students, in today's session we are going to discuss a very important topic. This topic pertains to the disturbances or recent disturbances in the Balochistan region. Now this article or this topic is important for the UPSC examination from the point of view that the unrest in the Balochistan region will have implication to the regional stability as well as the security of our country. So in this article we are going to discuss various dimensions that will affect our security as well as the regional stability in the region. So this article is important from the GS3 perspective, that is linkages between development and spread of extremism as well as the security challenges and their management in the bordering areas. So let's go through a previous year question. The question was asked in the year 2013. What is the question? The protests in Shahbag Square in Dhaka in Bangladesh reveal a fundamental split in society between the nationalists and the Islamic forces, which means that developments in our neighboring country will have an implication or bearing on our country or the security of our country, and that's the reason knowing or understanding the developments in our neighboring country is very important for the UPSC examination. What is the context? In recent weeks, Balochistan region. Now this region has a unique culture and historical identity. In the recent weeks, this region has seen many protests or disturbances. Now let me show you the Balochistan region. The Balochistan region covers areas in Pakistan, Afghanistan and Iran. So some part of Iran, some part of Pakistan and some part of Afghanistan make Balochistan region. The people who inhabit this region are known as Baloch people. So these protests in Balochistan were organized by Baloch Yakjehti Committee. These protests were held in the Gwadar city in Balochistan. The protesters, they accused the government of Pakistan or the army of Pakistan. The Baloch people, they accuse the government, Pakistan government, stating that the Pakistani army or the state is violating the human rights of the Baloch people, which means they say that the army is killing people, torturing people. At the same time, the Pakistani state is exploiting the resources in the Balochistan region. The benefits that accrue because of the natural resources, the benefits are not extended to the people in the Balochistan region. Or the Baloch region lacks some of the basic amenities like the government schools, education, healthcare, or let's say the infrastructure projects. The protests led to violent clashes between the protesters and the security forces of Pakistan. How did the government respond? The government responded by cracking down on the protesters as well as blocking several key towns like Gwadar and Quetta. And because of the lockdown or because of the blockades, it triggered a sharp rise in the prices of essential goods like food, medicine and petrol. This is the context. Now Balochistan, it is the largest province of Pakistan in terms of the land area, but it is the least populated. It is home to ethnic Baloch people, right? As I told you that despite the region is rich in natural resources like oil and natural gas, Balochistan remains one of the least developed region of the world. Look at the contradiction. The region is rich in natural resources, but at the same time it is one of the least developed regions of the world. The people of Balochistan, the Baloch ethnic people, they are demanding two things. One is greater autonomy for the Baloch region and better economic opportunities. This is what the Baloch people are demanding or fighting, and that's the reason they are protesting against the government. Now, the disturbance or unrest in Balochistan can be traced back to the withdrawal of British from the Indian subcontinent in the year 1947. So the British withdrew from the Indian subcontinent. The Kingdom of Balochistan was given three options. One, to join India, to join Pakistan, or to remain independent. The ruler of Balochistan preferred to remain independent. However, 1 year later, Pakistan, using the military power, occupied and conquered the Baloch region. And because of the occupation of Balochistan region by the Pakistani army or by the Pakistan state, it led to the protest by the protesters and the Pakistani state. Had the Pakistani state invested for the development of the region, the protests would have been, there would be no protests, or the protests would have gone down. But that was not the case. And as the basic amenities are lacking in the region, the people of Balochistan are protesting and demanding greater autonomy and economic opportunities. Now talking about CPEC and India's concern. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a major infrastructure project launched by the Chinese government. This CPEC, it connects Chinese western part and the Gwadar port. Let me show you in the map. So this is the western part, Xinjiang province of China, and Gwadar port, which is located in Balochistan. Now this project is going to be a game changer for the economy of Pakistan. Why? Because China will invest heavily in this CPEC. Most of the CPEC lies or passes through Pakistan. But this project has raised alarm for our country. Why? The first is the sovereignty issue. If you see CPEC, it is passing through the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now we claim that Pakistan occupied Kashmir belongs to our country. We claim the entire Kashmir, if not the Pakistan. We claim the entire Kashmir, and you see here CPEC is passing through Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which means CPEC is violating the territorial integrity of our country. Second, strategic threat. Now, as China has invested heavily in the CPEC as well as the Gwadar port, China will bring their commercial ships, navy ships, which means they will bring their militaries as well in this Gwadar region or Gwadar port. Now, if you see the location of Gwadar port, it is very close to the Indian western coast. Given that China will bring their commercial and navy ships, this will pose a security risk to our country. Which means what China is trying to do is, China is trying to encircle India. So, you see China building ports in Myanmar, Sri Lanka and different islands in the Indian Ocean region up to Gwadar. Which means China is trying to encircle India, and that is posing a security threat to our country. Now, what is India's stand on Balochistan? India traditionally has never interfered in the Balochistan issue. We always say that this is an internal matter of Pakistan, we are not going to intervene. But in 2016, our Prime Minister during his Independence Day speech advocated for the rights of the Baloch people. He showed support to the people of Balochistan and the problems they are facing. He highlighted how the human rights of the people of Balochistan are being violated by the Pakistani state. At the same time, the Baloch people want the Indian state to intervene to highlight the issue or the problem the Baloch people are facing. But despite this, India has continued to advocate diplomatic and political solution, which means India says that only diplomatic and political solution will resolve the issues the Baloch people are facing. Now, apart from the humanitarian concern that we already have discussed, there is also concern of ethnic and nationalist movement. Now, what is this? You see that the Baloch movement is an ethnic and nationalist movement. What they are demanding is greater autonomy or let's say independence. Now, some of the Baloch people, they also demand independence. Now, if we support such ethnic and nationalist movement, then that would pose a big security risk to our country as well. How? Now, there are many ethnic and nationalist movements in our country too. For example, if you look at Kashmir, there are many groups who are fighting for greater autonomy or independence. If you look at India's northeast, there are many groups who are fighting against India or fighting for autonomy or independence from India or the Naxal region. So, if we support such ethnic and national movement, we also have to support similar movements in our country. That would backfire, that would pose a big security threat to our country, and that's the reason India is not supporting such ethnic and nationalist movement. At the same time, as China has invested massively in the CPEC and the Gwadar port, China will be involved in the Balochistan region, which means external players will be involved in the Balochistan issue. Because of the protests or because of the violent issues or violent protests in Balochistan, these violent protests or problems are facing or they are posing challenge to the China-Pakistan economic corridor. And that's the reason more external players will be involved in the region, which would only complicate India's security situation in the Arabian Sea. So, what is the way forward? It is very important that Pakistan adopts a multifaceted approach. The government of Pakistan has to focus on economic development of the region. They have to ensure that the benefits of the natural resources be passed to the people of Balochistan. And if you look at the broader context between India and Pakistan, it is very important for India and Pakistan to restart diplomatic negotiation to resolve the impending issues between India and Pakistan, because only diplomatic solution can resolve the long-standing disputes between both the countries. So these are the different dimensions that we have understood in this article. Most important is to understand how the unrest in Balochistan will affect the security of our country. I hope you have understood each and every dimension that we have discussed in today's article, right students? So for more such interesting topics, explanation of interesting topics, make sure that you like, follow and subscribe to Narayana IAS. Thank you so much.